Hello and welcome back to the third part of our SAT video series. We still have a special surprise at the end, so please stay tuned for that. In the past two parts, I talked about steps that you can take to improve your score and improve your mindset about viewing the test in the beginning and middle of your journey. Please do go check those out. And now we have come to the big, beautiful end. This is the part that I like the most because after it, you're done. So here I'll talk about some specific late game strategies, mainly psychological, about how you can bolster your performance and really hone in on those weak spots that you might not have been seeing a lot of improvement over time. Also, do you want me to tell you a secret? You can't tell anyone that I told you this, okay? So if you go onto Reddit, there will be a thread, and I'll post a link down below, of free tests that were actually released. And the reason you can access them is because of the question and answer service that College Board offers. So what that is, by the way, is when you register to take the test, you'll have the option to get a copy of the test back with your answers and the correct answers. And so there's like a thread on Reddit with like a ton of these tests, and these are like arguably like the best indicator of how you're going to perform, because these are actual tests from College Board, not practice tests, like real published exams. So highly recommend you look at those. I used a couple of them. I wish I'd used more earlier just because they're like a really good resource, and this is a way that you can just practice without having to spend too much money on books and stuff like that. I also used a series of non-print resources. So I did an SAT/ACT bootcamp at my school, which was run by Kaplan. I did a 2-week SAT English course at Princeton Education Network, which was alright. And then I watched a video bootcamp run by The Playbook. I really like their stuff. I would highly recommend it. It looked a lot into the trap answers that are on the test and how you can avoid them and just general strategies. But what I liked is that it was very engaging, it was very fun, and I'll post the link to their website down below. So there's also YouTube, which also has some good resources of people who talk about their experience with the test, as I'm doing right now. But there's, I feel like, one element of the test that often doesn't get talked about enough. So far I've been talking to you about the mechanics of the test, the logistics of it all, but I feel like there's one little thing that gets understated, and that's like the psychological factor. A week out from the March test, I saw that my reading comprehension score was kind of stagnating, and I wanted it to be higher. I was like really upset. I was like, I really want to do well in this section. Like, why isn't it going up? Am I just terrible at reading? What is going on? And I was like super upset. My dad kind of helped me through that. He told me don't worry so much about the result. You can take it again. That's sort of the mindset that I wish that I had a little bit earlier. Because after I sort of, internalized that and stopped worrying so much about the score as opposed to the actual concepts, I did actually have a decent foundation of the concepts, but I think worrying about this test would have impacted it much worse than if I hadn't. Don't drive yourself crazy over this. Another thing about the journey, I'd say, is that I've seen a lot of companies that try to entice you with these really eye-catching figures, like get a 1600 today, and you might be like drawn to that. You might be like, wow, I really want a 1600, that's awesome. But I think what it comes down to is fundamentally asking yourself, what score are you trying to go for? 1200, 1300, 1540? Let's be honest, nobody likes this test. So I think that if you set limits on how far you want to go, because we all have other things we want to do, it's just going to be healthier for you in the long run. Another thing that I've seen these services do is that they've had these really clickbaity anecdotes, oh my god, Jared improved his score by 240 points, and this one shocking, simple secret will astonish you and blow you away. I mean, personally, for me, I don't care if Jared improved his score by 240 or 8,000 points, because I'm not Jared, and I know who I am, and I have different strengths and different weaknesses. And to be honest, I'd always feel a little bit upset about, oh, I didn't improve it by that much. I mean, like, I improved it by 10 points. Does that even matter compared to Jared's 240 point score improvement? So use that, target score, which, hopefully you set not too high, not too low, and just right, so you can track, your improvement through that, as opposed to these catchy slogans. I would say a few more things. Well, I feel like there's this culture that's developed with this test, which is like, oh my god, I can't do anything else. I gotta study, I gotta study, I gotta study. I'd say please don't cut social ties with your friends. Don't let your grades plummet. Don't take an extended break from the activities that you're actually passionate about. I mean, I'd say like a week max, maybe. Really ask yourself, do I really, really, really value the SAT? Like, maybe if it's like the day before the test and you gotta miss a practice just to sort of mentally, get your head in order, maybe that's okay. So, if there's anything that I want you to take away from this, it's that I feel like the hard work and dedication that you put in, in some way or another, I feel like will pay off. So whether that actually translates into a better score, in which case, congrats, good job, or you're taking other standardized tests like APs or, SAT subjects, or, if you're going to graduate level tests in the future, like the LSATs or the MCAT or the GMAT, I think that, as for many, this is kind of the first big major standardized test. Like, let's be real, like stuff like the NJS, the PARC, they don't really matter in comparison to this. I feel like it's, sort of the first sort of big step in like standardized tests that, could be helpful in the future. And you basically know how to prepare now if you've been doing a good job with it. And that, I feel, is something that is gonna last longer than just high school. So anyway, I'll put this like right on my face right now, some of the resources that I used, as well as, in the description below. Anything with a star, I highly recommend, so yeah. Okay, so what is the big surprise? Okay, so given that I've used all of these, resources, and I just feel like I've amassed a lot of knowledge, and gain lots of insight into the concepts and the specifics of the, test. And given an excess of free time, I've decided to create a series of videos on YouTube, going concept by concept, a little bit similar to Khan Academy, but a little bit more in depth and with a lot more, practice examples, especially focused around writing and language and math, the two sections that I was the strongest with. Maybe I'll make one or two videos on reading comprehension. But yeah, these are going to be, 100% free, accessible resources that, I just want to make for you guys. Because I know that, at least for me, I've pretty much just been a visual learner all my life. And so, stuff like the playbook and, watching stuff on YouTube has helped me in my understanding more than just reading books. That's just me, and I know that a lot of you out there are too, or maybe you're just not, ready for a financial commitment of buying a bunch of practice tests and stuff like that. Maybe this can be helpful. Either way, I don't want this to become a test prep channel. So I know that seems counterintuitive, like Vinayak, you're trying to make this series all about test prep, but how would your channel not be geared around test prep? Well, I mean, I feel like it's pretty simple, really. At my core, I'm not somebody who loves taking standardized tests, nor do I want to make a career out of that. I'm an artist, I'm an athlete, I'm a student of science, and I'm a storyteller. Not somebody who takes practice tests. So I want this to be like a one-time thing, and in the coming weeks, I'm going to try to post like a bunch of videos about this that is SAT specific. So please stay tuned. Alright, so if you enjoyed watching the video, please, drop a like, please share with your friends, comment down below, favorite part, or, your SAT experiences, if you feel comfortable. Yeah, just, please help a small channel out, feed the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, if you're watching this as someone who's just started their test prep journey, or you're, taking the test tomorrow and wrapping it up for the last time, I just want you to know you got this, and I believe in you. Have a nice day.